Hello, and welcome to Independent Talent, the most action-packed indie wrestling podcast on the entire fucking planet. If you're pregnant, have high blood pressure, or experience dizziness, then you've been warned, because your ear holes are about to be crammed full of the #1 local wrestling show in the Mid-South. Now, here's your host, hailing from parts unknown, Lemon Juice McGee.
Welcome back to another episode of Independent Talent, the newest and best professional wrestling podcast that covers the Mid-South area of the general United States, or something.
United States country.
We'll hammer this thing out eventually. Yeah. I'm your host, Lemon Juice McGee, and with me tonight is the fighting man, Matt Pierce.
Happy birthday, Bugs Bunny.
And our resident wrestling historian, Hoagie Masters.
Happy birthday to Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner. Oh, we've had a pretty big week in wrestling so far.
Yeah.
We've attended a number of events, shilling our wares across the countryside, attempting to drum up money so we can buy more shirts by selling the ones we have. Recently did the SIWF show at the Pulaski County Fair in Somerset, Kentucky. Yeah. Notable names on the show such as Buff Bogwell, Bigwell. Buff Bigwell.
Buff's a pretty big guy.
He could go with that.
Buff's pretty big.
Not as big as Rob Conway, who was there.
He was. Way in America.
Yeah. Or Gunner.
Gunner.
Yeah.
Formerly with TNA. Yeah, that's some big sons of bitches.
Ricardo Rodriguez there, too.
He was.
Yeah.
Good lucha action. We got Sean Schultz, NWA TV champ. We got the Heartbreakers. It was a good show all around. Menace, I don't know. We'll talk about it on another episode because it kind of deserves a lot of time, I guess. So we'll give a lot of time to the show. Which, as we've talked about before, these fair shows, like, when you get a chance to hit these things up, go to them.
Yeah, I mean, you might not have any more chances this year, but still, I mean, you have a couple. So just go out there and
find them. In the general areas, wherever their fairs are, if there's wrestling, go to it. Even if it sucks, you usually get into the fair for free, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You can go ride a ride and eat a deep-fried Oreo. Like, it's whatever. Tonight, we're going to actually do two different Making the Towns segment, sandwiched sort of a menage a trois situation with a As Seen on PC segment. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking KZW. We're going to be talking a recent trip to Wildcat Championship Wrestling.
Yep.
And we've got a cool match that Hoagie will tell you about at a later time with someone we'll see Saturday, August the 1st, at Pro Wrestling Revolution in London.
Yep.
And a wrestler who's making a big name for himself right now in NXT.
Yeah. Yep.
So it should be a pretty good show. And if it's not, I mean, it's free, so I don't know, suck a dick, I guess.
Making the Towns.
This is Making the Towns, the point in the show where we cover, events that we attended. The fighting man, Matt Pierce, and I attended KZW, Kentucky's Own Wrestling, July 11th in Shottville, Kentucky. And, I guess we're going to talk about what we saw.
Guess so.
I mean, that makes the most sense.
I mean, we could talk about, I don't know, what we didn't see, but
it's true. There were 0 pandas at this event.
There were no pandas. Sasquatch was not there.
No. Hulk Hogan did not make an appearance, regardless of what we thought could happen.
Yeah.
We were led astray.
There was not a flaming table of death match.
No, there were no thumbtacks involved, no light tubes.
No blood.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into what we did see.
I guess so.
Okay. Things kicked off. Joe Edmonds was called out to the ring. He got on the mic, starts jacking his jaws about stuff. Johnny Bad comes out and basically tells him that, as far as he knew, there was a 30-day clause on, defending your title, which there may or may not be.
It's true. I didn't see a rule book.
It sounds good. I don't know what the rule book is. We're not that aware of Kentucky statutes. However, the Kentucky Gaming Commission is very strict on things.
Yes,
so a 30-day title defense, I could see happening.
Yeah.
Very very easily. You have to sign for it, send in some type of licensure application. Wait forever to get licensed.
Make sure you spelled everything correctly. Yeah, it'd be a mess.
It'd be a whole thing. You have to get some type of physical.
Yeah.
I don't know. The belt would need a physical. There's lots of stuff. However, as Johnny Bad was out there talking to Joe, who he obviously had his sights set on tunnel vision as he's escaped him a number of times.
Yep.
Frank the Tank come out of the back.
Well, he told Joe he needed to have an insurance policy. Mm-hmm. And Joe said, "Oh, I got an insurance policy. I got the biggest insurance policy I could get."
Yes, and it's hard to disagree, as Frank the Tank is one big SOB.
Yeah.
Come out, laid out Johnny Bad. They tossed him in the ring. Then they basically stomped the shit out of him for a bit, double teaming him, and then the save.
Yes.
The save by
the Savior.
The Savior, Hippie Jesus, according to Frank the Tank.
Yep.
The lover boy, Brock Landers, making his KZW debut, came into the ring, chair in hand. Hair flailing in the wind. The hot wind. It was hot in the gym, folks. It was hot in there. Made the save. Johnny Bad and Brock, they make the match for later in the night. Them versus Frank the Tank and Joe Edmonds.
Yep.
Which instantly seemed like it was going to be some good stuff.
Was it a title defense?
Not a title defense.
Like,
Joe's managed to escape the title defense again.
Yep, which has pretty much been the definition of his title reign. Mm-hmm. He's walked out of matches. He's just not showed up for matches. He's just out of 5 people. Joe has been a very elusive champion.
Mm-hmm. But he's kept the belt.
He has kept the belt.
He's kept the world title. All right, so as far as actual matches go, the first match kicked off. It was a three-way dance between Oblivion, Sebastian Cage, who...
They're making his KZW debut.
Was it the debut?
I believe it's the first time he's been KZW.
It's the first time we've seen him for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And Jordan Hazard. So Oblivion, Sebastian Cage, and Jordan Hazard. Three-way.
Oblivion has new gear.
He did. He did.
Moved to the black and white.
Black and white. Looked really good.
Yeah.
3 smaller guys. Very fast-paced match.
Yeah.
A lot of high-risk moves. Some of them paid off. Some of them didn't.
It's about the high risk.
Yeah. It was pretty much what you'd expect. I mean, at first Hazard and Cage teamed up on Oblivion, but then almost immediately Hazard attacked Cage. It was very much on equal footing, everybody. It ended up with Cage getting kicked to the outside by getting a foot in his mouth from Oblivion.
Yeah, I think he took his spin kick.
Yeah, and then Jordan Hazard hit Oblivion with his finisher after some back and forth, got the pin. That was just the first part of this match.
Yeah. Yes. Sebastian came in. They're celebrating together. They're buddies. And then all of a sudden, nope. Clothesline.
Yeah. Cage attacked Hazard, took him to the outside, threw him into the turnpost.
Yep.
Repeatedly beat his ass and saying things such as, "You're not important. You're nothing." There was a lot of "you're nothings" going on.
Yeah.
Security and stuff got around him. Cage went to the back.
Yeah.
Jordan Hazard gets up. Everybody's, oh, yay. And nope, Cage back out, whipping asses. Suplex onto the hardwood.
Looked nasty, too.
I was close to it. It sounded nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some nice wet thuds from, sweat and bodies hitting the floor.
Yeah.
Lots of sweat, as we'll say again. That gym was hot.
Yeah, it was.
Crowd was good. Crowd was good for it. They dug the match. I really liked it. Lots of acrobatics. Lots of stuff you expect from smaller guys to keep things going.
Yeah.
There were a couple stumbles. Hazard paid for getting on the top rope once by taking that top rope across his abdomen when he slipped.
He did.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's going to happen. It's hot in there. It's.
Oh yeah, I imagine the ropes and the canvas were slick as shit as soon as anybody touched them.
Oh yeah.
Just from the sweat and stuff. Yeah. There's. But it was a great way to go, and it's going to lead into some stuff in the future. Between Cage and Hazard. So
yeah,
it's good stuff. Next up, we had a little bit of surprise. Well, we had Bad Attitude come out in the guise of the Widowmaker and BW Anderson. They are the KZW Tag Team Champions. They came out with their manager and their hanger-on.
Their pledge.
Thurston Cade. Come up for a match.
Huh?
Who are they going to fight? It surprised us.
Yeah.
Apparently, a new tag team, Beatdown USA.
New music. New look.
Yep. Trash Can Graham and Big Frank Boom Boom Daddy Vanover.
Yep.
Coming out all red, white, and blued up from head to toe.
They tried to red, white, and blow up the Bad Attitude.
Yeah. I think if they had the glasses.
Yeah.
They had the wrist tape.
Yeah.
I think Vanover maybe even had some glow stick action.
Somebody need a 2x4.
I think sparklers.
Sparklers?
Frank did have the flag.
Yeah.
He had the American flag.
Yeah, the American flag.
Yeah, Trash Can Graham had a red, white, and blue vest painted up with his name and everything on it. Like, they were very much USA.
Yep.
USA chants. The crowd, well, let's just say, every crowd loves to chant USA, assuming they're in the USA. And in Rocky IV, at the end of it.
That's Russia, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did, because they all changed.
They did. They changed.
Yeah.
If he can change and he can change, then they can change.
And they can change, yeah. And then that ended the Cold War.
That's
in the history books.
That's 80s politics in a nutshell.
That's what happened. Ronald Reagan ended the Cold War. He called Yeltsin and said, "I'm sorry." And then Yeltsin said, "I am too." That's it.
There you go. And Rocky Son had a robot. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So that I think Uncle Polly was fucking.
I think Uncle Polly wanted to fuck that robot.
Because I think it brought him a drink one time, and he's all like, "Oh, you bringing me drinks, lady?" And then yeah.
Those robots cost like $12 million. They're ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, we got off things there. Anyway, Beatdown USA and Bad Attitude had a match. It started out Trash Can deciding to let BW Anderson punch him in his sizable stomach.
Yep. To which he responded, "No way, baby.
No way, baby.
No way, baby."
Yep. He could not do any damage to him. A lot of, basically the big guys cleaned house for most of the match.
Double stink face.
Double stink face did happen.
Yeah.
The double stink face.
Stink face for America.
For America. Vanover and Trash Can Graham's asses were spread right on the faces of Bad Attitude.
Yeah. Well.
And they smelled defeat.
No, they smelled the ass.
And the ass.
Oh, okay.
And like we'll say, it was very hot in the gym.
It was very hot.
Things ended up bad for Beatdown USA as Thurston Cade interfered. Vanover was having none of it. Chased him to the outside. Started beating his ass. Just had him on the mat. Just knee him into the chest. However, this caused Trash Can to take both of Bad Attitude's finishers.
Yeah.
And take the pin.
Well, hey, it's a numbers game, and you get 2-on-2, that's a fair fight, but you get 2-on-3.
Yeah. And Bad Attitude's been doing the 2-on-3 pretty successfully in the last bit. Enough so that'll lead into something later on the show.
Yeah, it will.
After that, we had the returning Nick Vegas against Kirkpatrick, the current U.S. champion, with Miss Harley. This was for the U.S. title.
Yeah, pretty impressive debut last time, and now he's fighting Patrick again, this time for the belt. Yeah. So, that's something. You're in a title shot.
There were mullet jokes, which we always get behind.
Yeah.
There was a pose down by Kirkpatrick, which we can also get behind.
Yeah.
Really, almost anything he does is hilarious, and we get behind it. Whether he thinks it's hilarious or he just is down for it, it's hilarious, and it's awesome. Yeah. His gimmick will we're basically going to talk about him so much on this show that he's eventually going to just become this unstoppable force that's selling t-shirts left and right.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Vegas pretty much took it to him. Laid him out, power slams, all the stuff. Miss Harley interfered a couple times, slowing things down for him, choking him out in the corner. She had a dog at one point.
She did. She threw it at Vegas.
Yeah.
And it mauled him.
Yeah.
And then he pinned it.
He had this dog on his face. He was trying to fight it off. The children were screaming. Nobody knew how to react. It was a mess.
Or it was super hot when he hallucinated that.
We may have. I know she carried a dog out there.
Yeah.
I'm almost 100% positive. She had some type of animal on her arm. So.
A lion.
But as Kirkpatrick does, in his the fact that he's been champion this long and has had to defend that belt every single show, sometimes twice on the show.
Yeah,
he squeaked out the win.
he did. Numbers game again, though. I mean, it's hard to overcome when you're, you might just think, oh, well, there's only one other person. Yeah, but how you can keep track of that
It's
one
like
person?
it's just some chick. She's got a dog, and it's like,
Yeah.
you don't realize.
Yeah, that dog
She's
is-
going to strangle you.
with that dog.
She's going to strangle you with the dog at some point.
She did.
Yeah. So Kirkpatrick won via pin, kept his championship. The question remained how much longer he can, because Vegas seems to have his number otherwise.
Hey, I mean, he's got to just overcome Miss Hurley's outside interference, the dog pound she brings with her, and then,
And the spectacularness of Kirkpatrick.
of the heartthrob kid. Yeah.
The heartthrob kid. Yeah. Post that match, speaking of another awesome dude, the Dancing Cowboy, terrific Terry Allen, came out with his 45-minute intro to issue an open challenge.
His intro is an entire album of Sergeant Mix-a-Lot.
Yes. They repeatedly played his entrance song. And the problem is like, he's not even milking it. It's the everyone in the crowd wants to just yell at him.
Yeah.
They just hate him.
Well, no, they love Dancing Cowboys, man. People love Dancing Cowboys. They just want to be part of his magic.
That could be how you see it.
Yeah?
I feel like maybe they don't like Dancing Cowboys
Oh.
because of the connotation is involved in some way, which we won't get into here.
Dancing horses?
Possibly.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Speaking of horses, he did have his horse with him.
Hobby horse Peter.
Peter was with him. There was one old man who I think was ready to take his belt off at one time, stubbing up on him pretty hard.
Did you take his belt off and was he going to whip Peter?
I think he was. I think he was gonna beat his Peter with the belt.
Can't be beating his Peter, man.
No, you strangle it with the belt. Like it's some people. I mean, hey, David Carradine. There are people who have had these type of horses that have done things with them
I
that
don't
other
think David
people like.
Carradine actually owned a horse.
I'm just going by what I read online.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I believe whatever's.
I
On
mean,
Facebook.
he wasn't Kung Fu. They had horses in that, I guess.
There was too. But Terry Allen came out to issue an open challenge. Once he got in the ring and got through the Watts, actually got to say what he was going to say because the crowd loved to interrupt him. Open challenge was issued.
Yep.
It was answered by not one but two men because, well, honestly, it makes no sense.
It doesn't.
They did it. Bad Company, Johnny Suede, and the Super Assassin. Always good to see, but while they both answered the challenge, they were going to both beat up Terry Allen, who's quite smaller than both of them.
Because they're a unit.
That's true.
They're a unit. They do as one.
Like G Unit.
Yeah.
Yeah. G Unit.
G unit.
They answered the challenge, so Terry Allen's like, well, this isn't cool, and which we can get behind as, that's not conceivably fair.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have a horse, though. I mean, if he wanted to get...
He could beat him with his Peter.
He could have beat him with his Peter. He could have grabbed that Peter by the shaft and just swung it as hard as he could at their faces. But he didn't.
Well,
So,
but the higher ups, gracious as they are, gave him one whole minute to go find somebody to help him out.
for the hated Terry Allen to find someone to help him. So who did he find? Well, making his KZW debut, the Fiji Wildman.
Fiji Wildman, who is a force. We've seen him in a couple other places. Dude is just a monster.
WCCW. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guy. He's very much what you see is what you get from that type of gimmick.
He did scream at little kids though.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome. He came out. He didn't really say a whole lot when he came out. He's just looking around, and this kid was like waving at him or something. He was ah! Yeah. Kid just screamed.
Yeah, he very much does the Wildman gimmick, just speaking gibberish, and he's got his thumb taped up.
He has the skull mask and a kendo stick.
Yep, and like a sarong around his waist. He's got tribal tattoos. He got his hairs all frizzed out. Like it's a good look. It's a very good look, to be honest. Like he's definitely one of those guys you see and you're like, oh, that's the bad guy, Yep. But at the same time, he could be face.
Or if you're in Fiji, he's probably the good guy.
Yeah, it's very much kind of a wild Samoan-ish thing, So.
Yeah, but it's pretty much it does what it says in the box. He's a wild man from Fiji.
He is what you get. So he gets in there with Terry Allen. Speaking gibberish, Terry Allen speaking gibberish back.
Yep.
Super Assassin and Johnny Suede all for it. They start the match. Well,
The Fiji Wild Man.
Fiji Wild Man.
He came to fight.
Yes. He was laying some shit out. And that went on actually for a while. They rallied with Johnny Sway came off top rope, came across Fiji Wild Man's arm. Like they double teamed to get him out a lot of times. They also did some deals where Terry Allen was trying to cheat and tie up Johnny Sway in the ropes. And when Fiji Wild Man came to hit him, Sway would duck and he'd hit Terry Allen off the ring. And they did that comedy bit a couple times. It was good stuff. I think the crowd dug that. It was funny because I think they just like seeing Terry Allen hit in the face.
Probably.
I don't know. I mean, he does his job quite well.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing their job quite well, Super Assassin. Super Assassin, I feel like, could just get in the ring and strut, and if a guy laid on his back and they pinned him, at KZW, the crowd would just eat it up. Like, he can almost do no wrong at KZW.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything I can do not to lay in the ground and pin me, and he struts.
There you go.
Super Assassin, like, is sort of the epitome of KZW. It's like the old school masked luchador guy who's just, like 80s all throughout.
Yep.
He's got the cape. He has a big, huge Dracula cape.
Yeah.
The giant Elvis collar. It's awesome as fuck.
Yep.
He has different colored tights, different colored mask, but it's basic, clean stuff.
Yeah. He did wear some neon green tights.
Yep.
And I did notice that he gave Terry Allen the universal sign for "suck it" at one point.
Did.
Very DX-ish for Super Assassin. Like I say, you got to walk the line, buddy.
Yeah.
You got to keep it kid-friendly now. I mean, you can see Brock Lesnar's cross-chopping, but I don't know about old Super Assassin.
Hey. Well, I mean, he saw that Terry Allen bought his Peter, and it's just,
He was just suck it.
Yeah,
suck
it just went from there.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
So the match went back and forth. And it was going pretty well, but after a while, the Fiji Wild Man was getting double teamed out of the ring. So, however, there was this part where he got Johnny Sway out of the ring, and suplexed his ass on the floor. So that's like the second time we had seen that during the night. Yep. Johnny Sway took some beatings. He got tossed into the turn post. While Super Assassin was just laying it out on Terry Allen.
Hit the heart punch.
Hit the heart punch.
Yep.
But Terry Allen was like, I had enough of this.
Yep.
He grabbed a big handful of that Peter and went to swinging.
Yeah, he did. He swung that Peter right in the face with Super Assassin.
Yeah. So Super Assassin, Johnny Sway won by DQ. Not the way they wanted it to go. So at the end, Terry Allen's Peter's laying in the middle of the ring. And Super Assassin decides that he's just going to get his hands on that Peter and give it what for.
He was just beating it.
Just beating that
Beating
Peter.
that Peter raw.
Like he was laying his elbows on it.
Like he owed him money.
Just as much sweat as he could get on that Peter, he could.
Yeah.
Then Johnny Sway was like, ooh, I got to get some of that Peter too.
Yeah.
And went and put his feet on it. I mean, some people are into that. I don't know. It seemed like it was hurting the Peter.
Yeah.
But Terry Allen was not happy with what was going on.
No, he does not like feet on his Peter.
No, he does
elbows.
not. He does not. So that's the way that went. They went to the back. Words were said. Peters were grabbed. It was a thing. Johnny Sway, Super Assassin, by DQ.
Yep.
Next up on the card, Bad Attitude. Oh, yes, Bad Attitude made a reappearance.
Yep.
With Thurston Cade.
Yep.
They get in the ring. They tell Thurston Cade that he's been with them for a while, and that if he can win this next match, he will be.
He'd be full blood.
Full blood. Bad Attitude. I don't know if they necessarily would stomp him in for initiation.
Well,
or do
can't blood him in Kentucky.
Or do the passing him around thing, like they do with female gang members.
That could be. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough road to go. Either way.
Hey, you do what you gotta do to get any advantage you can, I guess.
That's true. But Thurston Cade has caused them to win a few times. He's helped defend the tag titles with them in kind of a freebird situation.
Yeah, which is strange to me that they're like, okay, you defended tag team titles. Mm-hmm. Now you can be in our group.
Yeah, so
I guess
he's gonna get him a shirt. I guess if he beats Tomahawk, which he did, but we'll get into that. Yeah. Tomahawk comes out to the usual, as big a crowd reaction as you can pretty much get at the Shottville Gym.
Yeah, it was huge. Mm-hmm. Comes out, all the kids love him, all the fans love him. This Tomahawk is. That's the reason he's consistently up there. Like he's like a lot of people love to go see him. You know, he's up there
Yep.
with like if he's not main event, he's pretty close. Just
Well,
because
he's going to do what he's going to do. Like, you know what you're getting. Hogan-esque,
yeah,
Cena-esque. You know what you're going to get.
yeah,
But people love it. And it's partially because he's got such a set character, I think.
yeah. It's a great character.
Yeah. So it works out, you know. And he's generally in that character the whole time, you know, and he constantly does the stomps and the chops and more chops.
War paint. He has the war paint.
War paint, yeah. So his hair, we can't get over the hair. I
Yeah,
mean, it probably rivals Kirkpatrick's mullet as the most interesting hair at KZW.
I mean, because let's face it, at the end of the day, you can take off face paint.
Yeah.
You can take off the headdress.
Yeah.
I mean, he's living the gimmick with the hair, and it's not that it's bad hair. It's just that he's.
It's very much like an Indian style mohawk that's grown long and tied up, like it's just on the top of his head.
Very traditional mohawk. Yeah.
There you go. So he went up against Thurston Cade, beating his ass mostly. BW Anderson, Widowmaker, they get on the ropes. He beat their ass too. But it was the numbers game again.
Yeah, I mean, it's basic math.
Yeah.
1 + 1 + 1 equals lose.
Thurston tossed him to the outside, which I will say that Tomahawk will go to the outside like a champ.
Yeah.
He will fly through those ropes at any speed and hit the ground.
Yeah.
He's the master of getting tossed out of the ring.
Yep.
Does it quite well. I mean, it looks great. It's not even like a joke. Like it legitimately when he goes out of the ring, it looks good every time.
Yeah.
He got out there for a while. He was getting hit with a cane. He was getting stomped on. There was a time when he was in the corner getting choked by both members of Bad Attitude while the ref was distracted because the refs get distracted.
No, Thurston Cade needed to know if his wrist tape was wrapped correctly and in accordance to the Kentucky State rulebook. You know, like you got to make sure your wrist tape's right.
Well, he don't want to lose his license. Have to
Right.
get sent out of the building in 90 seconds or something for not having his wrist tape correct.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, you know, like he'd make sure, and the referee had to look at it under the lights, you know, get a second opinion.
That's true.
That's
That's
all it
true.
was.
I'll give you that.
That's all it was.
But yeah, I ended up Thurston managed to get the win on Tomahawk. So I guess
Despite being chopped, he was chopped.
he was chopped a shitload,
Yeah, he was.
including from the top rope,
Which usually does it.
Yeah, it's usually the finisher. So he's officially a member of Bad Attitude, I guess. We'll see.
He's blooded in.
He's now part of the gang.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine he's still like the guy who would have to like hide cigarettes in his butt if like they were going to prison.
Yeah.
But he's an official.
Or the guy like if like B.W. Anderson just shot somebody, like B.W. Anderson would have to hand him the gun, and he'd be like, "Yeah, I did that," and he'd have to go to jail for 10 years or whatever.
You have to. You're a lifer once you're in Bad Attitude.
Yeah, I mean,
well, unless that, which is the big problem with Bad Company,
Well,
because they're out, and it's like,
yeah. Well, I mean, but you're still bad.
basically KZW has a gang war going on,
That's true.
and I don't know if we should tell everybody this, but it seems like things could get heated.
Like
That's good.
Jets, Sharks level.
Yes,
Yeah.
like motorcycles in a hotel parking lot situation. You just gotta be careful.
Yeah. Like this is bad.
I don't know if you've seen Sons of Anarchy, but you take Sons of Anarchy, you add in a luchador mask
And the worst parts of the Bible.
and the worst parts of the Bible,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get Bad Attitude, Bad Company.
Yeah.
That's the rivalry. And that brings it to the main event. There were 6 matches tonight. It was good speed for it. The intermissions I didn't feel like were too long.
No.
Surprisingly, there was no female matches. There were no bombshell matches tonight, which for KZW is a rarity. For most other places we go, it's just not even a thing. So, but it was noticeably missed, which shows that they do have them quite often.
Yeah.
The main event, Joe Edmonds with his muscle, I guess.
His insurance policy.
Yeah, Frank the Tank,
Yeah.
former member of Team Beatdown, went up against Johnny Bad and the Loverboy Brock Landers.
The hippie Jesus.
The hippie Jesus.
Brock Landers.
Yeah. Which could be a thing now. It could just be a KZW thing. I think we just got to keep it going.
Hippie Jesus.
We just got to keep it going. And this match is what you'd expect. It was really well done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it started out Brock and Joe.
Yep.
Brock took his shirt off, threw it right at Joe. Joe's having none of that.
Nope.
Right back in Brock's face.
Yep. The stench of it, the stench of the sweat knocked Brock literally to his ass.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
To his ass. They did the deal where Brock and Joe were fighting. Of course, everybody wanted to see Joe and Johnny Bad get their hands on each other, so he would tag in Johnny Bad, Joe Edmonds would jump out of that fucking ring and tag in Frank the Tank.
Because Joe don't want none of Johnny Bad.
He doesn't want any of Johnny Bad.
No.
Why does he want any of Johnny Bad? He's the champion. He's got no time for that.
Yeah.
So Frank Tank would get in and then do his Frank the Tank stuff, which usually includes squashing the shit out of dudes because he's massive.
Yeah, he beats people down.
Yes, he just beats them. He just beats them down. They did manage to get Frank off his feet a few times in the match.
Yep.
Which is more than has happened a lot recently.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment in and of itself that happened.
And basically each time, when Frank would get Johnny Bad down, Joe Edmonds would come in, stomp on him a couple times, and as Johnny Bad started to get up, out the ring, tag back in Frank. That happened quite a bit. Eventually, though, Brock and Frank got into things, and Joe found himself all alone in the squared circle
With Johnny Bad.
His current mortal enemy.
Yeah.
The man who wants that KZW world title. Joe Edmonds is the man who has the KZW world title. While this wasn't for the title, there's really no ducking this. So Joe got his ass kicked.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. Johnny Bad laid him out. Clean pin on the champ. And that was the show.
Yeah.
Finished it up. Joe escapes. Like, I still got the belt, blah, blah, blah. But he obviously is rattled and knows that, Johnny Bad had pinned him.
Johnny Bad's coming.
Yeah. And that will happen Saturday, August the 8th at the next Kentucky's on Wrestling show in Shotville, at Kentucky, at the Shotville Gym, right near Somerset. The main event, as far as I know, will be Joe Edmonds versus Johnny Bad for the world title. I feel like there should be some stipulations added to this to where Joe can't escape, but at the same time, if you start adding in like no DQ and stuff, that just means Frank can be in there the whole time. So
True.
It being a straight up match may be the way to go with it. I almost feel like if it waited till September for Cage Fury, that would have been like that.
Yeah.
That would be the more finite thing to do. But I mean, for this, why wait?
Yeah.
Let's just get it going. Nick Vegas gets another shot at Kirkpatrick for the U.S. title. Second chance, learned his lesson from Miss Harley and the dogs and all the action, and
Tigers,
if he could put the shades on to just keep from distracting from the mullet, maybe get the win. But I'm sure Kirkpatrick will bring his A game and his super cheating game. We're having the Loverboy Brock Landers making a return to KZW, going up against Joe Edmonds' insurance policy, Frank the Tank.
Yep.
Should be a good match, as Brock Landers is one of the few men to knock Frank the Tank down.
To defeat Frank the Tank.
Yep.
I didn't knock him off his feet.
As in defeat. Yeah. Him and Johnny Bad and I guess Trash Can are really about the only three that have went not in a team situation. And Brock was in a team situation the last time. So.
And even Trash Can, he took a pretty stiff beating from Frank the Tank.
Yeah. And then finally, it'll be, naturally, Jordan Hazard against Sebastian Cage, probably in some type of "why did you kick my ass" match.
Probably. Yeah. Like, hey, I thought we were a cool match.
Yeah. Like, we were pals, and you beat the shit out of me outside the ring after the match was over.
Yeah.
So all in all, a good show from KZW. I will say, I thought this show went a lot. Even though the heat was exhausting.
Yeah.
I feel like this show was better than the last show.
Yeah, it was.
I think the last show that we talked about before, it was just kind of an off show.
I think it was an off show, and I think it was hotter. I think there was more heat last time than it was this time.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, because that's mine.
So this was good. This was the type of main event that we're used to from KZW.
Yeah.
The main events usually aren't any type of like. They are what they are. They're usually the best match on the card. Yeah. So this is what that was.
Was it August 8th? So bring your kids, bring your wife, get your friends, get your dog, get your dog's friend.
Mm-hmm.
Harley will have her dog.
Bring your dog's kids.
Hey, bring your car, your landlord. Mm-hmm. Dig up your grandma, whatever. Just come to the Shotville Gym, August 8th.
Buy some shirts from us.
KZW, buy our shit. KZW. Boomtown Wrestling.
Boomtown Wrestling. You almost say #boom if you're so inclined. Almost.
But I don't know how to make the hashtag.
I feel like that's infringing on somebody.
I'm not up with the Twitter box. So.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
as seen on PC.
And it's time for another installment of As Seen on PC. This is the part of the show where we get online and find a match or an interview or something just weird and creepy that involves an independent wrestler in the area that you can generally still see today, whether it be Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, the general deal. What do you have for us tonight, Hoagie?
All right, we're going to talk about a match from May of 2011.
Mm-hmm.
It was at NSFW in London, Kentucky, between Ryan Dukey, popular wrestler here in the state of Kentucky, and Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe,
yeah,
who's currently in NXT.
Yeah. You think a match with Joe, it's going to be a big squash match.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the case. It's a pretty good match. Joe, I mean, he beat down Dukey pretty good in a few points, but Dukey kept coming back, kicking out of a lot of moves. And there was one part in the match where Dukey nearly won. He came off the top rope and hit like a code breaker on Joe and hit him with a big elbow and nearly pinned him. And if it wasn't for Joe being so close to the ropes, he would have beat him. It's pretty close. And then the end, Joe came back and hit the muscle buster for the finish.
Mm-hmm. Which has finished many a man.
Yes.
Many a man.
Yes.
Now, if someone wanted to watch this match, where would they find it?
On YouTube. Just search Samoa Joe versus Ryan Dukey.
Mm-hmm.
There are two videos on it. One, it's just somewhat of the match. It's not the full match. It's a pretty good shot of it. There's another shot that's been filmed like in a balcony area.
Yeah, it's not quite as...
Not as good, but still it's watchable.
Yeah, but if you watch both, you're pretty much getting the...
Yeah, you get the legit of it.
Match. Yeah. So there you go. Ryan Dukey and Samoa Joe. Ryan Dukey, who we last saw at Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah, Dukey's awesome.
Yeah.
Dukey's pretty awesome.
And we'll be seeing him at Pro Wrestling Revolution again August the 1st, Saturday, in a matchup. So looking forward to that.
Yep.
Always fun to see. Crowd favorite. You know, he's actually been around. Actually seeing him in a match with Samoa Joe was kind of surprising, but then after searching his back catalog on YouTube of matches, he's faced a lot of really big opponents. So.
Yeah, he is.
So there you go. That's this week's As Seen on PC.
Making the Towns.
Nope, you've not had a grand mal seizure. This is, in fact, the second Making the Towns on this same episode. This segment, we're going to take some time to talk about a recent show we went to, Wildcat Championship Wrestling, WCCW. Mm-hmm. It's two C's because wild and cat are two separate words because, let's face it, you can't have WCW. You got to work with what you got when you come to your abbreviation. So it's WCCW.
That's true.
We went up there. They were super cool. We set up a table, talked to the owner, got to watch the show. We will say that they have a big rarity in independent wrestling in that they have their own arena.
They do have their own arena.
It's a constant setup in a shopping center, so there's good parking. There's businesses all around, places to eat and stuff. And then they have a wrestling ring set up basically year-round. They don't have to take down, seating, a full kitchen. He's apparently got according to the owner, he's got a huge dressing room in the back for the guys. It's a really nice setup.
Yeah, and there were a lot of chairs that were sort of theater chairs. Mm-hmm. And I guess they got them out of decommissioned theaters, offices, or whatever. And there were 3 or 4 rows of them. They were all full. I mean, it was pretty full.
Yeah. At first we got there, the crowd was kind of small, but I guess it's one of those deals where they have their show all the time at the same place. Yeah. The people know, well, we'll get there when we get there and fill the seats up at the last minute because they're, especially if they're locals, they're not rushing to stand in line to get in.
Also a rarity. I don't think anyone else has had it anyway. Mm-hmm. They have a big screen TV on the entrance.
Yeah, they have a TV that's kind of a Tron entrance type of thing. Yeah.
And then they have the sound booth behind that. It's just a good setup. I like it.
Yeah. The ability to turn the lights off and really crank up the strobes and the music for the entrances and stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess unless you have like the aforementioned seizures, like I mentioned, it might be best for you to check it out. But hey, it's worth the risk because it's some good wrestling.
It's really good wrestling. Yeah.
But we'll get into how the show kicked off. Where you
it kicked off the Diamond Cartel. They own all the belts, and they came out to tell everybody about it.
Yeah. That's headed up by Scott Diamond, who we've talked about on the show before.
Scott Diamond, Frank the Tank, world champion and equality champion.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cujo. And then you got the Heritage Champion, Devin Blake. He came out there. Just everybody covered in belts. They're the Tag Team Champions. They're the Heritage Champion. They're the Equality Champion. They're the World Champion. They're just everything. You know?
They have like every title that WCCW's got.
Yep.
And they come out basically to just, promote that aspect in the nicest way possible. Like, they were very, very polite to the fans.
Yeah, they were. Super polite. So polite, in fact, that Cody Matthews came out. Mm-hmm. Basically, said, hey, thanks for the nice, polite orientation of your title glory.
He thanked them for their nice, kind words to everyone. Calling no one trash in any way.
No,
whatsoever.
and then he said, "Hey, I have other friends who would like to thank you also." And then Sean Bain, Bob Murdoch, and the Russians came out, and even Odds a little bit.
Yeah, and you had the Diamond Cartel in the ring. You had all these other dudes outside, and things got a little heated.
Yeah,
as things tend to do. Scott Diamond. Obviously, keeping level-headed, keeping things in order.
Yeah, and keeping lid on things, running everything. Said there'd be a couple matches, and said later on Cody Matthews would be fighting for the Heritage title. He'd be fighting Devin Blake.
Cody Matthews. The couple times we've been to WCCW, we've been before.
Yeah.
Cody Matthews is definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, they love him there.
WCCW, yeah, and Sean Bain seemed to be right there too.
Yeah. And now that the Diamond Cartel is formed in effect, Scott Diamond's a power in WCCW now. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. But then we have that, some matches are made, words are said.
Yes.
Shots are fired, proverbially. Mm-hmm. And then we get into our first match tonight, which is Frank the Tank, the world champion, defending the equality title against Bob Murdoch.
Yes. Frank the Tank was the equality champion, which we're not overly sure what that means. We think that maybe it means he can fight a woman for the title, but we don't know.
Yeah, it's a different belt than the world title, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe anybody can fight for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Bob Murdoch was wanting that belt, and he went for it.
Yeah, he did go for it. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, anybody who fights Frank is an uphill fight.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah, every time we've seen Frank the Tank, which, as you heard earlier in the show, Frank's a tough one to put down.
Yeah.
For any man, and Murdoch gave it what he could.
Yeah.
Lots of kicks, lots of speed. The general ways that you're going to fight a bigger guy.
Yeah, Murdoch went about in the right way. He was kicking him, trying to outfast him. Be quicker.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He was definitely trying to outfast him.
Outfast him, yeah. It just, it's hard to deal with, a powerhouse like Frank. Frank picked up the win, but due to poor sportsmanship, referee reversed the decision. Bob Murdoch picked up the win. Mm-hmm. Did not get a belt, though.
No. So Frank still won out regardless of the ref's decision.
It was basically a DQ win is what happened. Then we had the Soviet Stud facing Ram Jam Jimmy Lamb.
Ram Jam Jimmy Lamb, who, according to the Soviet Stud, who doesn't have the accent of a pure Soviet Russian.
He's from Southern Russia.
Yeah.
Southern Russia.
He apparently his family's from Russia, as he's recently become the Soviet Stud. But Ram Jam Jimmy Lamb apparently was arrested at a previous WCCW show in the parking lot, either for public drunkenness or unpaid parking tickets or non-payment child support or who knows. According to Jimmy Lamb, it was disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
public nudity.
Maybe. Maybe he's just way too awesome. And the police like, no, man, you gotta go.
You gotta go, Jimmy Lamb. Maybe.
Well,
anyway, Soviet Style wouldn't have any of it. Jimmy Lamb come out. And
yeah. I mean, they had a match. Went back and forth a little bit, and it ended up being another DQ finish. Jimmy Lamb, Ram Jam won by DQ. So started out with a really good promo, and then a great match between Bob and Frank, and then this grudge match between the Soviet Stud and Ram Jam, and then we go to our first intermission.
Yep. First intermission.
Yep.
Where we, tried to hawk T-shirts to children who aren't old enough to listen to our show.
We drank Delicious L81.
We did drink Delicious L81, which sponsors WCCW.
Yes, they do.
And so L81 is definitely on the menu if you're there at WCCW and you want something to drink, which, we can't fault it. Well, I'm not an L81 drinker often. When I'm at WCCW, I'll chug one back.
Because they have it in a glass bottle, and that's the way to drink it.
That is the way to drink it. Yeah. Cold in a glass bottle. Yeah. And another benefit, this is July, hot as balls outside, air conditioned in WCCW.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big bonus.
Yeah.
Also, when we're talking about a lot of these storyline things, it doesn't seem to work a lot with some promotion you go to if they move a lot of cities because the people aren't going to be there for those.
Yeah.
But where they're able to stay stationary, it does seem like they have legitimate storylines going on.
Yeah. Well, like the first time with WCCW, Scott Diamond wasn't with the Diamond Cartel at the time. He was just the authority figure. Mm-hmm. So between there and then, there's been an evolution where Scott Diamond's had to form the Diamond Cartel and take all the belts.
Yeah, because he's had the Diamond Cartel. Scott Diamond's had versions of the Diamond Cartel in other organizations he's been in. Yeah. But, that was a WCCW, brought in. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it actually is pretty cool to see the continuity going on there. Back from the intermission, we have the aforementioned WCCW Heritage title match between the champion, Devin Blake, and Cody Matthews. This was a really great match. Basically, if you would be like, oh, well, the main event's this match. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we saw Devin at Now, and a good worker. Yeah. Of course, at the time, he was being murdered by Abyss. Or not Abyss, but
Zodiac.
Yeah. Zodiac, Abyss.
Yeah. Cody Matthews we've seen a couple times. He's really good also. Really solid.
Yeah.
Cody was about to pick up the win. Cujo comes out. Member of the Diamond Cartel. And starts, just laying into Cody Matthews. Giving Cody the win by DQ. But the big thing here is Sean Bain comes out to even the odds. And then Sean Bain comes out. They go back and forth. Scott Diamond comes out. Cody Matthews wants a tag team title match later that night. Scott Diamond says no, which is the thing that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But then,
they've done such a good job of keeping the belts on their guys, even with the DQ finishes.
Yeah, why would you want your guy fight twice in one night?
Exactly.
But then Cody Matthews starts, talking some more and just is able to get on to grate on Scott Diamond and convince Scott Diamond that it might be a good idea. Yeah. Just to shut him up,
Yeah, got some crowd chants going, and so it, pushed him into it, forced his hand. Yeah.
Yep. And then, so they set the match for later that evening for the tag team titles. After that, we had the match of the Lone Wolf with Big Country versus Cousin Jed.
Cousin Jed.
Yeah.
Cousin Jed.
Yep. Big Country is a gentleman in a mask with a cowboy hat and suit.
Indeed, a luchador mask, cowboy hat. Not really a leisure suit, but just a basic, I guess. And,
it's kind of a cowboy suit. I'm not sure exactly what.
I don't know. It was an odd look.
Yeah, it's a good look, though.
But, he was able to yell at the crowd with impunity thanks to his mask.
Yeah, and
his mask was cool as shit. I don't know what mask it was. I'm not sure it wasn't like a custom mask, but it was a pretty fucking cool mask.
Pretty cool mask. Lone Wolf picked up the win via pin.
Yeah.
Went over to Cousin Jed, who the crowd loved Cousin Jed.
They did. Well, they loved him at Now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, T-shirt and overalls, man. T-shirt and overalls.
Yep. And then after that match, we have the main event of the evening. It is Sean Bain and Cody Matthews going up against Devin Blake and Cujo for the WCCW tag team titles.
Yeah.
This It's kind of weird that we're here, and this is the first time we saw the Diamond Cartel with all the belts.
Yeah.
Because this is also the first chink in the armor of the Diamond Cartel. Because Cody Matthews and Sean Bain are able to pick up the win here and get the belts.
Yeah, they took the night into with them taking the tag title. So there's new tag team champions at WCCW, which I mean seemed to go well for them as far as like I know Sean Bain normally has a regular tag team partner, but I don't know. I guess this is like one of those deals where you get two superstars, you throw them together, and they have to get the belts because
they're so big.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it's first chink in the armor of the Diamond Cartel, who is doing amazing with all the belts, and it set up future matches, and coming home happy. It was overall, I'd say the highlight of the night is the whole Diamond Cartel, because the whole show focused around them pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's like any good faction. I mean, and the thing is, Scott Diamond has the experience with iterations of that very faction.
Yeah.
So he knows how to work the crowd with it. You know, it's very much it's like a Four Horsemen style stable.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, like they all come out with we're better than you. We got all the titles. You know, it is So
it's dominant stable. A couple of guys we'd seen Bob Murdoch before.
We saw Bob Murdoch take a force choke from Ematep off the top of a ladder one time.
We did. That was a really good match.
That was. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking force choke. Well, if you don't know what a force choke is, you should turn the show off right now.
Yeah, go watch some Star Wars.
And if you haven't seen a force choke in a wrestling match, well, then you haven't lived.
No, you haven't.
No, really, when we were there, the crowd shit all over it. But we thought it was awesome, and we still maintain that it was awesome.
Yeah. But, that was the evening. We have to go a little bit out of your way to get there, but it's not that bad, and it's really worth it. It's a great show.
Yeah. 101 Hilltop Drive in Lawrenceburg, and it's in a shopping center. The cool part is the shopping center sign has its own sign for World Wildcat Championship Wrestling.
Yep.
They've been doing like kind of an every other week type of deal lately, but according to the owner, probably in the next month or so, or maybe starting this coming August, I'm not 100%, which I checked the Facebook for it, which they do keep active on. It's The Real Wildcat Championship Wrestling is the name of the Facebook page.
Yep.
He was talking about they may be going back to weekly again, which, I mean, even if you follow a regular wrestling promotion, most wrestling promotions don't do every week. So if you got a free Saturday, they're there. So,
and speaking of August, this upcoming August 1st is actually their Hall of Fame show.
That is their Hall of Fame show, in WCCW if you're in Lawrenceburg. So, I mean, it should be good. And they've announced, I think they've announced 6 entrants into their Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, it should be some big matches. And, of course, it's always cool to, see some of the guys who made them what they are, I guess. So, there you go. And, I mean, it was cool. The crowd was good. The crowd was into it. I don't know. I mean, there's really not a lot of bad to say about the thing.
No, I mean, it was a great building, great crowd, great wrestling. Yeah.
It's still kind of hard to get over the fact that they just have a permanent setup.
Yeah.
It's just kind of awesome, I guess. So.
I feel like that's the, maybe the mecca, I guess. So the holy grail of... have your own building. Yeah,
like a building that you can keep permanent.
Yeah.
Because they got them, and you got like the Danny Davis Arena in Louisville.
Yeah.
And that's
it. Pretty much it, yeah.
And as far as Kentucky goes, So, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Hmm.
So there you go. There's your Making the Towns with WCCW.
And there's the roll-up.
And that pretty much wraps things up for this week. Coming up this weekend, August the 1st, Saturday, we will be at Pro Wrestling Revolution at the Optimist Club in London, Kentucky.
Yep.
We'll have a table set up. We'll have stickers. We'll have shirts. We'll have CDs that have some of our, favorite / best / filthiest. They're all filthy. Episodes from developmental talent and independent talent. Also, we'll talk wrestling with you for nothing. That's always free. Hugs cost $2. But they're the lingering type of hug. It's worth $2.
They're kind of soggy too.
They're wet. There's some squeezing. It's
Yeah.
it's a thing. You're paying for. You're gonna get your money's worth.
Yeah.
They are.
One way or another. There. Next week's show we'll be covering the SIWF event at the Pulaski County Fair. We'll also be covering the Pro Wrestling Revolution event. That's on August 1st. That will feature Cliff Compton and Colt Cabana facing the Heartbreakers. It's going to have Team IOU. We got Ryan Dukey. You got Cashflow has issued the challenge where there's going to be a big battle royale. It's going to be a big show. So we'll have a lot of wrestling to talk about, and we'll probably be on Zero Sleep. So get ready to enjoy that and the insane things that come out of our mouths. So for Independent Talent, I'm Lemon Juice McGee.
I'm Fireman Matt Pierce.
And Huggy Masters.
And that's our show.
This might be the end of the episode, but the beat goes on for Independent Talent Online. Check out news, upcoming events, and massive photo galleries by liking the Independent Talent Podcast Facebook page. Also, feel free to hit us up with your opinions, suggestions, bitching, and moaning by sending emails to independenttalentpodcast@gmail.com. Oh, and for the love of wrestling, please support your local indie federations. Now get moving! We've got to get these chairs stacked and the trailer loaded.